Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Corner. Today, let's talk about if this is your first time, would you be nervous? Or would you hate it? Or would you like it? I still remember when I was young, at my 20s or even younger, I hated doing things when I didn't know or when I was not familiar with. So we called first times. I had never had a feeling that I should try and see how that goes. I always had a feeling that if I'm going to try it, I have to be very good at it. But it is very hard to be good at it with something that you don't even know before you try it. But I don't know, again, it's being perfectionist or something, but I felt like I'm not afraid of trying things, but I really hated the feeling of I don't know how it will turn out or how it goes. Now thinking back or now looking at things I've done so far, I've tried swimming. I remember going to my very first swimming lesson. I was very nervous, but I liked it. My goal was to just be able to swim. And I didn't have fancy goals like I need to swim really fast or anything. And when I first tried tennis, right, and I hated being by myself trying tennis, looking clumsy there, but I was kind of just hitting the wall and doing my best. But I was never really afraid or feeling embarrassed at the moment because people were watching me and I was not doing my good job or something like that. I was just really enjoying doing the exercise or doing the thing. Maybe because I'm getting old, I'm getting wiser. So I know it really doesn't matter what other people see you. It's all about how you feel about yourself when you do that. But then maybe it's not. And sometimes I still feel judged by, I don't know who, but I still feel judged, or maybe by myself. I feel like if I don't do it well, I'm going to fail myself. I'm going to disappoint myself. And I really don't like the feeling. Looking back, a lot of things I had never done before, I was afraid to try them because I was afraid to humiliate myself in front of other people. But also, I didn't like trying them because I knew it would be a humiliation for me. I remember the first time I had never been to a cafe or a fancy restaurant before 20 something, I think. Anyway, so when I first tried a cafe, when I first tried a fancy restaurant, and not even that fancy, now looking back, I was very reluctant. I didn't like it. I didn't want to go. I was kind of forced to go because, well, when your friend was around, you didn't really have many choices. I remember my date took me to Burger King. That was my first time going there. And then without help, he asked me what I wanted to order. I looked at the menu. I had no idea how to read the menu. And it just looked so fancy. All the names, I mean, I understand Chinese. I read really well, but I don't understand what they're all together. Just like some of you, when you're learning another language, you understand every single letters, and when they are put together, you have no idea what they're talking about. Anyway, so I still remember the feeling. It was more of embarrassment than excitement trying something new. I was worried maybe the way I ate it was not correct, or the food I ordered when they asked me so many questions, I didn't answer questions properly. I think back then it was all about being proper, being correct. I didn't even know I was supposed to enjoy, to feel the moment. A lot of examples. When I first came to Canada, that was my first time going to Starbucks. Can you believe it? Had my very first time going to Starbucks. Never ordered coffee by myself. And I was so afraid. Even with my friend, I was afraid to order anything. Well, not like never been to Starbucks, never ordered coffee. And also I didn't really speak good English back then. So I was nervous. I was afraid. And I told myself I would never have a coffee. I was just observing, seeing my friend, how she ordered the coffee and trying to figure out things. And then my very first step was asking her how to order coffee. And she looked very shocked. She said, "Oh, well, you just go in and ask, you want a dark roast." And back then I didn't even understand what dark roast was. I just followed what she told me, went there and ordered tall dark roast. And there were a lot of questions after that. So did you need cream and did this and that? I had no idea. And I didn't like dark roast. I like blonde roast. Took me a long time to figure that out. But I always ordered dark roast because that was the only one I knew. Never wanted to learn or explore and never want to make any mistakes. Now, thinking about all those things I did in the past, making mistakes is not really a big deal. At least if it's not like it's not a serious mistake or life mistakes or something. A lot of things you're supposed to make mistakes, but you are so worried being judged or you're so worried being criticized because this is how you grew up. Maybe your parents never allow you to make any mistakes. You have to be perfect. Maybe your teacher says you have to give me correct answers. If you give me wrong answers, you will be laughed at or criticized in front of everybody. So you may have had those kind of bad experiences in the past. Now you are thinking, if I do something not even in a wrong way, in a different way, you start to feel very uncomfortable about that. And I think this is how you get stopped by thinking of this as a first time. I think one thing that has really changed me was back then my husband was my boyfriend. We went to try a lot of different things, exploring things in nature. He just said one thing. He said, I love how your eyes are wide open when you see something completely new. When you're seeing this thing, you're so amazed that you just look, you make this world so interesting. I like your curiosity. And I think all of a sudden I feel like, oh, actually, you know what? Making mistakes is not a big deal. As long as you want to learn, you want to know, and you want to try it. Everybody makes mistakes, and you can still be nervous about trying new things. You can still be nervous about, let's say you have a test and you're going to a new place, you're not sure about what's going to turn out. You are allowed to have those kind of feelings, but you shouldn't let those feelings stop you from trying new things or trying things for the first time. This has changed me for a very long time, and now when I think about things I want to do, I'll just go do it. Maybe I won't continue. Maybe I won't succeed, but it doesn't really matter because this thought has been in my mind for so long. I needed to put it in action. I need to see it happen. So, and it's just see what's going to really happen, right? You never know. But if you don't do it, it's always in your mind. You're going to be always stewing about it, and then you're going to regret. And the things we regret the most is not things that we have done, is the things that we have never done. And you will be like, oh, I should have done this. So do it. Don't make yourself regret. Then you can make mistakes and learn from them. And if you don't like it, let's say you don't really like it, you tried it, you don't like it, and then just don't like it, right? Nobody's going to force you. Maybe some people will push you, let's say family members or friends that will push you to keep going. But you have to look at yourself and really ask yourself questions. Is this worth it? Worth my time and effort? Worth the pain to make it happen? Do you really at some point like it or will fall in love with it? So that's one thing. When it comes to life choices, it's definitely harder because the cost is very high, right? If you make a wrong life choice, you're going to pay for it. And sometimes you can afford it, sometimes you cannot. But when it comes to that, being careful is one thing I've learned from my experience. Sometimes you have to write it down and really think about it. You can even make a chart, help you to weigh your choices, which one has more benefits, which one maybe has a higher risks, but you can get more. It's worth it. It's worth all the risks. So those kind of things that you have to think carefully and thoroughly. You just need to put it on paper, make it happen, make it seem that you will understand what steps you take next. And then also you have to understand when you make decisions, everybody has struggles, right? Some people are very conservative. They want to be safe. They don't want to take any risks. But then also they sometimes are jealous or envious of what other people have tried. Oh, look at them. They've done this, done that. But if you ask them, would you do the same thing? They would say, oh, I have so much responsibility. I have other commitments. I can't really do it. That's true. I have a lot of commitments. I have a lot of responsibilities. But if you really want to do it, you have to be willing to sacrifice. You have to be willing to accept that you make this decision, you've tried it, and you decide not like it, but you've already sacrificed something. Like that you pay for it, you decide, I don't like it, but you can't return. You're not going to get your money back, and that sucks. But would that stop you from trying things, right? Think about that. Some people are more adventurous. They do want to try a lot of different things, and they're not afraid of all the costs they have to pay or the risks they have to take. And then their life is more impressive. amazing, say that. And when you see their lives, you'll be like, oh, I wish you could be that. No, you don't, because you're not going to be willing to pay for what they pay for. And you might not have the ability to afford that kind of life. Not talking about financially, but more talking about like mentally and spiritually and even physically. And you just cannot. This is how jealousy and envy come. And you don't even notice that. You can't just get what you want without paying for it. Anyway, so coming back to first times, what I want to say is don't worry about first time. It takes a very long time for you to get experienced. Everyone comes from being a newbie and they don't know this. They've tried, they've experienced, and then now they learned and now they are experienced. So when they do that, you're only seeing them doing that as a result. You're not seeing them as trying steps or trying process. But to you, you see differently. So you think if I try things like that, I should be like them. If I try things like that and I'm not like them, then it's a failure. I shouldn't do it. So that is a wrong way to compare yourself with other people. Just like when you listen to me, when you listen to my podcast, you're saying that if I do exactly the same thing, I'll be like her. And then you follow every single step and you realize within a short time you can be like her. And then you think all the methods are not effective or not useful. But you didn't really think about how many years of effort and time I put in and how many strategies, techniques I put in and tried out to get to where I am now. So it takes a very long time to get experienced. And I always say to my students that when you make mistakes or when you're thinking about, I can't express myself freely or fluently, I am just very frustrated. And I always say that don't even worry about it because it's not about you. It's about the time. You have to have that time to practice so hard to get to the point you can express it freely. And a lot of people ask me about my videos. Is this script or you're doing freestyle or this is impromptu speaking? This is impromptu speaking. I always said that I don't plan my videos, and this is why I can't upload videos regularly because I have to wait for my ideas and inspiration hit me. But I still remember my very first few videos, and if you go way back years ago to look at my videos, you could tell I was trying so hard to recall what I planned for the videos because I was not very experienced. I was not familiar with what I wanted to say. Everything is I just learned, I practiced, and I come back and I was trying to follow scripts. And I also remembered I wanted to buy a script reminder so I could read and record a video. Those crazy things. Now I don't really need it. I just turn on my camera and start recording. But that takes years of experience. And my first time sitting in front of camera, I was nervous and I was worried about my accent. And I got comments from people saying that my accents are funny or my English is terrible. Or even something like I was trying to be like a native speaker, but I was not. Those negative comments, I even received comments saying that I'm ugly as fuck. And I was frustrated, I was upset, I was actually really nervous about uploading a video. But then what? Now I don't really care if you say I have an accent. I have an accent because this is me. Everybody has an accent and it's not a shame. I'm not ashamed of my accent. I am actually very proud of it. So people can tell where I'm from. This is my true identity. And speaking English, I always admit that I make a lot of mistakes while speaking, and some of you might spot some mistakes and comment on my speaking, say, oh, then you made a mistake or something. You're more than welcome to comment because you guys are good. There are a lot of people that are way better than me. They're interested in my videos, and I really appreciate it, and they help me improve my English. So taking that as constructive feedback instead of a negative comment really helped me. But that takes years of practicing to finally accept that people do make mistakes and some people do comment on you. There are a lot of first times. So all in all, what I want to say is don't be afraid of your first time. Cherish that. As you get older, you won't have that many first times. And then this is when life loses its excitement because you're now trying a lot of things for the first time. You're saying, oh, I've done this before. It's like you have this muscle memory. You remember how to do certain things and there is no excitement. But when you have a very first time in a while, and then you feel the excitement, you actually feel life is really wonderful because you are still curious about how to do things and then you're still nervous about how to do it. So anyway, this is the topic I want to talk about today for this video. I hope you like it. I'll do my best to upload more regularly, but stay tuned. See you next time.